Morning, Katie and Riley. This is exciting. We're going to do your house number, and you guys have an awesome house, and looking forward to doing glass gold leaf, which I think looks awesome. I am very excited about doing it. So I'm just kind of panning around. Of course, I'm in my shop, and I'm going to be doing some videos. So I can show you the steps that are involved. Here's a picture of the front of their home with the awning that's currently on there now. So they wanted to see what it would look like without the awning and adding the gold leaf numbers and a glass panel that's above the door, which can't be seen at this time with the awning. So we photoshopped out the awning, and this is the font that they chose, showing the gold numbers above the door. At the start here, of course, we had to come up with a design, and this is my sign software, and we did several different fonts to choose the one we like the most, and this is the final design. Now, the faded area would be representing the clear glass, and there's also a black band at the bottom to cover up some wood that I don't think needs to be seen when it's in its final stage and mounted to your house. Now, if we zoom in here and look at one particular number, you'll see that there's a center gold section, which will be the mirrored gold leaf. And then around that is a slight outline, and that will be matte gold without the shine. And around that will be a black outline and a black shadow. Now, the way we're going to do this is we have a vinyl cutter that you'll see over here, and we're going to cut a mask, and then we can set up our matte outline and our black outline and shadow. To cut the mask, and I'll go into my plot symbol that puts us into the page for the plotting. Now, since it's going to be on the back, we have to hit the mirror button. That reverses it. And we want this to be in this format so it all fits on the vinyl. Okay, so now we're ready. We hit send, and now the plotter will start. It is now plotting out the lines that were on the screen so I can paint in my matte outline material and the black outline and shadow. It's kind of hard to see, but it is cutting the lines. Okay, so now the vinyl is out of the plotter and we have to weed it. And what that means is getting rid of the sections that you want to have available to paint in this case. So I'm taking away the areas where the black outline and shadow will be. Now I put a material called transfer tape over it. It's essentially a tape that holds everything in place to transfer it from the backer of the vinyl over to our sign material, which in this case will be our piece of glass. Isn't this exciting? So now I've carefully placed the vinyl with the transfer on the glass, and I'm taking the squeegee and pushing it down into place. So now, as you can see, the areas exposed will be painted black, and I've created a band at the bottom, which in the original layout will cover up the not so nice looking wood on the front of the house. So now, here's my trusty paint tray, and out of the paint cabinet you see the one-shot sign painter's paint, which is the best paint available to do this job. And here is the black. And we also have our lettering brushes, a small one for the outline and shadow and a large one for the stripe. Okay, so the black is all painted in, and we will let that dry until tomorrow. So now we'll paint in the areas where we're going to have the matte. Okay, so this step is done. The gold matte areas are now painted in. We'll let that dry until tomorrow. Okay, so here's the tools needed for glass gold leaf. We have to mix up our sizing, which is a liquid. So we're mixing up our sizing. This would take 1 gelatin capsule. One capsule per cup of water. You bring it to a boil, and the gelatin will disintegrate. Funny story, the last time I got these gelatin capsules, which was probably 10 or 15 years ago at least, the person at the drugstore asked me suspiciously why I wanted the capsules. Maybe he thought I was making my own drugs. And when I told him I was mixing up for glass gold, I don't know if he believed me. At any rate, this will dissolve, and then we're ready to go. So the vinyl is off, and now we're going to put the gold leaf on, using the sizing to get it prepared. Here's the gold leaf. We were having a heck of a time trying to hold it with one hand, and I guess you're gonna have to get the idea. That's it, it takes a while. We'll take another shot after we get the gold on. So now we have the gold on all the spots. You can kind of see back here, as it dries, it becomes this beautiful mirror. Back here, it's still dull where I've just finished, and back at the beginning, it's becoming a mirror. I flipped it around so you can at least see what's going on here. As it's drying on the 5, you can see it's starting to become very mirror-like. Now, of course, there's a lot of spots that aren't completely covered with the gold, so it takes 2 or sometimes 3 different applications to get all the spots covered, and then we will back it up and clean it off. Those steps coming. The next step is to back this up. And after this is completed, then we can clean off the excess gold on the outside of the letters. So the next step is to clean it up, and we use this Bonami, which they probably don't even make it anymore. It was bought at Woolworth for 59 cents. So you mix it with a little water, and then you just take some cotton and just scrub the excess gold away. One more interesting thing is the old-time sign painters, as they would clean off these windows and they would do a lot of glass gold leaf, they would save these cotton balls in a separate container and then have them melted down for the gold that was in those. Back in the day, they did a lot more gold leaf. They rarely do it anymore. So now it's all cleaned up, and one of the last steps, we'll come back here to our black paint, and we're gonna put the black on the whole letter. This cleans it all up, makes it look pretty from the inside. And if there's any last, I have a couple spots here where the there's a slight removal of the black. This way I can come back and touch up those spots and clean it all up so it looks nice from the back. So the very last step is a spar varnish that I'm putting over to protect everything. And you just take the varnish slightly, about 1/16 of an inch, over everything. And this just simply protects it as you clean the window and seals everything off. Okay, you guys, the house number is done. The varnish is dry. All the steps are complete. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so it's all finished. Check it out. Love the reflective quality to this. There's nothing like the real gold leaf on glass. I think it's going to look fabulous on your house.